In space, no one can hear you scream. But here on Earth, we can all hear the lovely music of Adam Ken.
We're gathered here today to celebrate the life of Bitty Billy Blues. He passed away recently. His wife asked me to say a few words. Bitty, he didn't have an easy start to life. These are two of Bitty's crutches when he was just wee. They're all we have left of him. He had a pair before that were made out of a pair of matchsticks, made by his father, but one day he walked across a cobbled street and they set alight. Whoosh! Burnt his arms quite badly, and his legs, and his torso. And so he had to, while he convalesced, that's when he found the blues. This is Bitty Blues guitar. It's all we have left of him. I remember the first time I met Bitty Billy. I was on tour in the south. And I was walking along, and it was a cold day. It was the kind of day that Bitty Billy would have called extra syllables cold. Because it's fucking cold. And I walked past this porch, and there was this amazing guitar playing coming from it, and this huge voice. And I was like, there was nobody on the porch. And I came closer, and there I saw him. He was sat on his rocking chair. His parents had nailed down so he didn't get seasick. And I said, "You have to come on tour with me. What's your name?" And he said, "Bitty Billy." "But Adam, I can't." "How do you know my name?" I said, "Why can't you come on tour with me?" And he said, "I can't walk because I don't have any shoes." And so I went straight to town, obviously, and I went straight to the doctor, and I burst right into his office and said, "Doctor, do you know Bitty Billy Blues?" And the doctor said, "You can't just burst in here." I said, "Doctor, don't avoid the question, do you know Bitty Billy Blues?" So he stood up, he took his arm out of his patient's rectum, and he said to me, "Yes, I know Bitty Billy Blues." Tragic story that. Poor boy, crippled, never going to make it. And I said, "I need you to make him some shoes so he can live out his destiny." And he said, I'm a cobbler. No, I'm a doctor, not a cobbler. And slip of the tongue there from the doctor, so he's bad. It's inappropriate at a funeral. And so I said, "Doctor, it's my destiny to find Bitty Billy. It's your destiny to make his shoes so that he can live out his destiny and be the greatest blues man ever known." This is one of Bitty Billy's shoes, made by Dr. Martin. That's all we have left of him. So, Bitty Billy did come on tour. I remember the day he stepped off his porch, and his dad handed him a hat. This is Bitty Billy's hat. That's all we have left of him. And he put it on, he wore it till the day he died. So he came on tour with me and Nickel Jones. I'd tell you, Nickel, if he hadn't died before his time, he'd be bigger than 50 Cent now. Even accounting for inflation. We were sleeping rough. This was Bitty Billy's sleeping thing, sleeping bag, while we were on tour. That's all we have left of him. While we were on tour, of course, Bitty met Big Bad Bertha, who would go on to become his wife. Big Bad Bertha was from a rich family. She owned huge tracts of land. She owned an aviary and an apiary. I think it's fair to say she taught him about the birds and the bees. And she died before her time. People came for the funeral from miles around. They had to, because we had to dig a hole a mile around to fit her in, because she was really fat. And it took 3 months of it being foggy for us to realise that she was haunting him. So, this is Bitty Billy's bottle. He started drinking the day Big Bad Bertha died. That's all we have left of him. And so she stopped haunting him when he lived out her dying wish. She said, Bitty Billy, you've got to move on. And he did. And he went on to marry a total of 12 women 8 times. And yeah, he said to me, he's a poet. He said to me, I like my women like I like my coffee. I like them hot, black and Irish. I'm full of my penis. And I said, classic Billy. This is Bitty Billy's stapler. This is Bitty Billy's flag. It's all we have left of him. This is from when he went and served in Vietnam. He had to lie to be enlisted about his height. This is Bitty Billy's dog, Bitty Bow Wow. That's all we have left of him. He followed Billy everywhere, until that unfortunate gig at Mount Vesuvius. This is Bitty Billy's amp, from when he went electric. That's all we have left of him. He said to me, he said, people aren't going to like it, but I'm going to take charge, I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to move forward. That's the only way to be kind. That's an electricity joke. It's not a joke, it's a funeral. It's inappropriate. This is a letter that Bitty Billy sent to me just before he died. He was always very involved in the civil rights movement, even though he wasn't totally black. Because there was that one time he went to a Dave Matthews Band concert. It was also a bit Cherokee. But even after the whole civil rights movement, he kept pushing on for equal heights. And he sent me this letter, talking about, he had a plan for making sure that height wasn't an issue. He said, I'll just read you some of it. He says, height accounts for a greater discrepancy in earnings than gender and race combined. And most of the racial gap is just because Asians won't let their kids do professional sports. The majority of child abuse is directed against those of below average height. I have a one-step plan, which is no less effective a plan for being short, for battling heightism. Clearly, a one-step plan is more of a mission statement. So I've broken it down into scores of sub-steps, which are no less effective for being sub-steps. This final solution, I'll spare you the details. It comes down to a cull of everyone above average height annually. I think that shows passion in his vision for heightism. This is Bitty Billy's coffin. It's all we have left of him. Inside it is Bitty Billy's body. It's all we have left of him. I remember when I got the news, he died. He died like a true blues man. The call came from Reverend Liam Cardholder, and he said, Adam, it's bad news. Bitty Billy, he's died. Cole's Law. I said, Cole's Law? That's everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And he said, no, that's Murphy's Law. I said, oh. I had a phone. And I said, that's the one where all arguments on the internet devolved to being about Hitler and the Nazis. And he said, no, that's Godwin's Law. And I said, then what the fuck is Murphy's Law? No, Cole's Law. And I passed immediately into the anger stage of grief. And he said, It's cabbage and carrots and mayo. He choked to death. And that's classic Billy. So I thought it would be appropriate, probably, maybe, I'm not very good at judging these things, to play the last song he ever played to me for you, verbatim, because that's the way he would have wanted it, and it's the only way it really makes sense to shoehorn it into his set.